Thank you, Jake. This morning, multiple communities in central and western Kansas will be cleaning up following tornadoes and severe storms. We'll begin in Reno County. That's where a tornado hit the town of Plevna around midnight.
And this morning, we have not heard of any injuries just yet. However, 12 News arrived in the community southwest of Hutchinson shortly after the tornado, and we saw heavy damage to homes and buildings with debris thrown across the area. We spoke to a homeowner who says that he is grateful his property didn't get as much damage as his neighbors.
Compared to, I think, some of these places, it wasn't that bad. It managed, all the flying debris messed up all the vehicles. I got damage to my roof, or the chimney on the other side's gone. I still got bricks on the roof. Stuff came through the windows and I guess flew around inside the house.
Now, he tells us that he got shelter from that tornado under an overpass. He didn't know, he says, that after that went through that he heard that was dangerous to do. So this morning, the Red Cross at the Abbeville Community Center is helping everyone who needs help. The Reno County Emergency Manager reminds you not to touch down power lines or even drive through debris-covered roads. And you should also avoid entering damaged buildings until they are declared safe.